it's all connected. Everything's connected. We're connecting the dots here in this world that we're living in. Remember that. That is what this world is supposed to be. Us connecting the dots. It is Maya, as Hindus like to say, an illusion. And all of these teachings are to move through the illusion and get back to the original one. Okay. So in human design, you basically put in, I'm pretty sure it's human design like .com or something like that. Could probably put it in the notes down below, but human design is the first one that we're going to talk about. And what you have to do is go on the website, put in your, obviously your birthday, the time, the exact time, and the place you were born. And similar to astrology, obviously, that's how you find your chart in astrology as well. This has like, basically like a profile that it creates for you, and explains you like the different aspects of you and in the different areas of, I guess, your life, right? So in your type is essentially going to be how you have to show up in the world. Like this is, and again, all of these like explanations is just how I perceive it to be. Again, these definitions and how I'm explaining this. Obviously, I was able to go online and do research and find out the definitions of them, and I'm kind of just paraphrasing here, and how I perceive them to be, and what they mean. So the type here is basically how you show up in the world, essentially, or how you have to show up in the world. So I'm a manifesting generator. So essentially, manifesting generators tend to be more to themselves. They have to go within themselves and essentially find the answers for themselves, right? And to be able to create in life, you have to be able to consciously, have that dialogue within yourself, that creator, the creator part of you, and have that dialogue, and go inward to be able to create in life. And in doing that, me, me, I would have to lean towards going with the flow rather than me taking initiative in putting my energy in 100 different places. You know what I mean? My goal is to essentially focus on my energy and see where my energy brings me with paying attention to that inner dialogue. Working on those techniques that really calm your nervous system, where we could essentially block out that outward noise that we get with a lot of the stress that we have on our day-to-day lives, or just the running of the mind. That for a lot of people who may not be in a structured day-to-day work can find themselves in that type of cycle. Or even if you're in day-to-day work, you kind of find that day-to-day process kind of mundane. So yeah, so manifesting generator. So it's funny just like initially going and learning about, going through these. First of all, manifesting generator is exactly who I feel like I am, and a lot of these, how these explain myself to be. I'm not really going outward, like in trying to find something that is telling me what I am. I'm basically, my this kind of confirmed the thoughts that I already had about myself, and it's kind of like solidifying what I have to do in the world rather than, me going and searching for something. That's why I'm actually finding the inspiration to do this, is because not only is this, or not only, so that's why I find myself doing this, is because it's not something to basically, it's not a religion. It's not like something to worship. Obviously, nowhere near that. It's just guidelines, like there are, different methods like uh different types of meditation, like staring at a flame, and then, well, that's more of like esoteric like methods, but or like going within yourself. But in terms of the 3D and intellectualizing, you know the 3D, this gives you a good a starting point to basically go and flow easier with it into the next phases of going within yourself, and finding it easier to meditate, because you're understanding that there is a goal towards meditation, and meditation basically enhances uh, these better aspects of yourself that's within you, and you'll be able to access that as you calm your nerves and basically take out those things that throughout your day that basically take your awareness away. Take away that your power from what you really want to do. You know. All right, and in the profile. So the profile is kind of, so your numbers essentially. I'm pretty sure they go through 1 through 6, and every number basically has an energy towards it. And for me, uh, mine is a 3-5. So in a 3-5, the top number. So for the threes, it's very it's it's a number that's going to go through a lot of trial and error. So essentially, I have to go through a lot of things and a lot of tribulations, to learn the things I have to learn in life, and through that is how I'm going to find my wisdom. You know, and threes have the tendency to like bounce back a lot. Really be able to, as long as they're in reflection, and being able to, you know, you know, learn from what they just went through, and be able to bounce back. That's like kind of their the attribute that they're that's you know most potent in the three line. These lessons in life, or these obstacles in life to learn, right? You have to be able to sit in the now and like really reflect and look at the things you do, to be able to break those cycles that you continue to do with those trial and error. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to keep going through the error. You want to be able to course correct. And that's where I really take that, and is honestly a major theme in my life right now, because I'm really trying to integrate. And again, I'm not perfect. I'm not a perfect individual, and I'm just really trying to learn from my flaws, and and basically get out of my comfort zone, to really become who I want to become. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully you could do the same. And this is a goal, all of us, to help each other, and like, not really be hating or like, you know, creating any separation. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so the 3-5. So that's the three. So the five, it represents attraction. So you basically, I have the ability to basically, I guess, I have the tendency, or I have the just like the energy that I could tend to become very personable, or transpersonable with like an individual, because I could kind of get down on that personal level, and that's really just how I've always been. Like, I just know that if I like go and pursue a conversation with somebody, I know that I could really get like to know that person, and really on a deeper level than like just a high and by type of situation. And I think that's based off of like my experiences. You know what I'm saying? Like being a three, in those trial and errors, like just um, being able to see myself in the next person, and not being so judgmental with my energy. You know what I'm saying? But at first, I mean, I do have the tendency, to to come off as like, you won't be able to read me of who I am off of initial just meeting me, because I guess that's just always been my aura, and I've always understood that. That's why this is kind of like confirming with it. You know what I'm saying? Like I guess you know how like some people say like resting bitch face. You know what I'm saying? Like you walk somewhere, and I guess you just have that kind of energy. But you know, in turn, that energy is also like with people being intrigued about you. You know, people, you know, wanting to talk to you or just feeling this drawing towards you, and that's what is five represents. You know what I'm saying? And and a lot of times, you know, that five can be mistaken for like superficiality. You know what I'm saying? Like being an outward person. But again, you know, I guess this is really like just like a reflection of, I don't know, of, I don't know, a reflection of consciousness. You know what I'm saying? And I have that tendency. That's what like a five is. You know, the ability to like, you know, I heard that like fives have the ability to, you know, you talk through the eyes. You know what I'm saying? And it's, I don't know, it's more energy. You know what I'm saying? And that's what a 3-5 is. And I really connected to that. You know, learning about more about this, more about myself. You know, and you know the definition, the single definition, from what I've got from it. You know, I'm not. You know, from what I got from it is more so of like, so in the human design chart, like my actual chart, which I'll see, I'll put it up right here, right there, bam. And essentially, you see like the highlighted, you know, highlighted area centers in the body. You know what I'm saying? And a lot those, the top one, the top, you know, triangle, and the bottom, the reverse, upside down triangle, that's representing like your upper area, your head area, right? Going down to the two bottom squares is more so of your throat chakra areas, right? And then going down is like down your chakras. You know what I'm saying? And every energy center has numbers that basically explain and that are highlighted of your, you know, superpowers or your shadow sides, you know. So for single definition, I only had like a couple like that were like highlighted. So it means that I guess in the way that I understand it is essentially a single personality kind of, whereas like a split definition or like a triple definition would mean that you have like different types of personalities, I guess. Not really, but you have the ability to shift like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of how I've understood it, and I kind of want to learn more about that because I feel like it goes within like the energy centers that are highlighted that will make me a single definition, or what makes somebody a double, you know, a triple definition or something like that. And I believe that's the most rare, and it's kind of interesting because my dad is a triple definition, and just knowing his personality is just very interesting. You know, it's like connecting dots. It's playing connecting dots with the world and all the information you look at, especially if you don't take it too seriously, and like, oh my gosh, if I don't believe Jesus Christ is my savior, I'm gonna die, like, or I'm not gonna go to heaven. Like, that's not the happiest, you know, most happiest belief. You know, I just don't think that's how all creation is. If that's how all creation is, what is unconditional love? You know what I'm saying? So, and I feel like this is going getting to the path of unconditional love, and that's why I feel like I want to do something. You know. So I put inner authority twice. So inner authority, my inner authority is emotional center, and this is in your solar plexus. Bam. Got it right. I don't know if you can see that because of the sun glare, but we got it right. We got it corrected. Okay. So, makes a lot of sense for me. You know what I'm saying? I get a lot of energy in my solar plexus area. You know what I'm saying? When I'm kind of not in my alignment, you know, not flowing energy correctly, I kind of feel it in my solar plexus kind of area. You know, transferring energies in this, those sexual centers inside of on in your body. You start feeling those energies, and the more in tune you feel with yourself and your body, you kind of like understand this, if it's in your profile, or if it's in your human design. you know for me, it just makes sense. It's just an intuitive feeling. And then my strategy is to respond. So, like I was mentioning, kind of like a manifesting generator, I'm pretty sure my strategy is based off of my type. So essentially, things have to come to you. Like, I'm supposed to respond instead of initiate. Initiating is different from responding. You know what I'm saying? So responding, I kind of like understood it the way it was supposed to be understood the first time I heard it, just because I played football and I played defense. So re- as a defensive player, you're responding to an offensive player. You know what I'm saying? So you would basically be reacting rather than initiating the reaction. As a defensive player. So that's just my psychological, like how I perceive it to be when I understand and going through my strategy. Because I suppose, like doing research on it, a lot of people could get confused with responding, or get it confused with initiating, and thinking that they have to initiate things on a day to day basis rather than waiting things to flow to you, which is very cool. It's a very valuable information to have in life, if you're supposed to be responding and most of the things that you do, rather than initiating and just focusing on your energy to stay in tune. You know what I'm saying? So it was just very, it was very, cool to learn about. So, not self theme is kind of expression, self explanatory. Um, I tend to go into frustration. That's like my shadow side. Like, I do tend to be frustrated within myself. A lot of times it's because I don't do the things that I'm going to tell myself to do. You know what I'm saying? And maybe you guys just hold me accountable. If you guys like say, "Oh, I'm not posting," shit. I mean, I probably feel some type of way in the initial reaction, but like it's just a reflection of what I need to hear. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm really just trying to take a jump in this, and frustration is something I gotta focus on. Is taking those moments in anger and reflecting, and understanding this is just part of the process in transmuting and becoming the alchemist, like transmuting emotions into positive, perce- pers- uh, changing a negative emotion in a negative perspective, and viewing that same you know information and transmuting it into an optimistic perspective. While that reality is still the same reality, you transformed your perspective on it, to be able to grow from it, and be able to now put that wisdom inside of your backpack, so to say. So frustration, while it is the shadow side, it does eventually help you learn from the frustration. And the last one, the incarnation cross. So in the incarnation cross, so there's left angles, right angles, and I think there's a juxtaposition as well. So I got a right angle. So this means that in this lifetime, I'm here to create. If you have a left angle, then that means you are here to like mend past life trauma. As far as I'm understanding it, right? Now I have the right angle cross of sleeping phoenix, which is very interesting because I don't know. As humans, we all like to think of ourselves as special, but I believe all of us are special, and if we really dive and understand ourselves in a special way, that we could find these special meanings within like our life and like what we're here to do. So, right angle of the sleeping phoenix, or right angle cross of sleeping phoenix. So we are actually coming in this time of the sleeping phoenix right now, like in 2027. So in astrology, so this is very important for me. all of this right here, because I do think that it's everything is for a reason. You know what I'm saying? And even understanding the right angle of the sleep or right angle cross of the sleeping phoenix, it's a phoenix is meant to rise. The phoenix is sleeping. You know, the phoenix has to realize itself, and when it a phoenix has to die to be able to rise up again. You know, so humanity has been in this cycle of kind of sleeping. It's a sleeping phoenix. And once this phoenix, sleeping phoenix, wakes up and realizes itself and realizes its power, this is the transmutation. This is the beginning of the transmutation. And the phoenix, realizing itself that it was in a slumber for so long, has to honor thyself, has to honor the feelings, has to honor it being alive, like to a new world it was in while it was sleeping, while it was unconscious. And I do think that this is a reflection or another story that we can basically intellectualize to understand where we're at and what standpoint we're at in the world. So these gates, you know, they all mean special things. You know, these numbers here. I don't know exactly if they're gates. Honestly, I could be wrong, but I don't know if that's correct terminology. But these are very important. You know, as you'll see in the human design, these numbers are just very crucial because they all represent something and basically explain in a deep way, in my opinion, like how to go about life or what you're supposed to do. And for me, it's given a lot of motivation. So next one, we're gonna go into my actual, like, all the numbers that I have in my chart and explain why I believe that they're significant. And as after I go through the important numbers, I don't think I'm gonna go through all of them because there's a lot. But once I go through the important numbers, you'll have a good understanding of how I kind of like perceive and look at my numbers, and how I basically contemplate on that to be able to look at my shadow side. You know, look at the negative aspects of myself or what I perceive as negative, and I'm so hard on myself with, you know, and transmute that and basically become more loving, you know, within myself. And within finding more love within myself, I could be more loving to the people around me that I want to be. You know what I'm saying? You know, consciously. You know, rather than being, you know, you know, subject to negative emotions. You know, like, oh, I'm in a bad day, no one talked to me. Like, I don't want to be like that. I want to be able to control every aspect of my life. And I feel like this gives me, you know, it's like a permission slip that I hear a lot, like a permission slip for you to do what you got to do. And a lot of times you can't do that without the proper information or knowledge. So this is what's just doing. See you in the next video. Let's go.